Hi, everyone. I'm going to sign in Dr. Jeanine Downie. If I could get you all to hold on just a second as I bring her in. And I want to say welcome to all of you. Hi, everyone. So I just invited Dr. Jeanine Downie to join us, and she'll be joining us in just a minute here. So my name is Wendy Pittman. I am the founding director of the Brown Skin Agenda, where we promote the advancement in treatment protocols and skincare solutions for skin of color. Welcome, everyone. This evening, if you're on the East Coast, and this afternoon, if you're on the West Coast. I'm so happy to have all of you with us tonight. And I am ready to bring on Dr. Downie. Hold on just a second. Let's see. Where is she? And I'll do all those introductions. Is she here? Is she here? Where are you? This part is always the fun part, right? So hold on just a second. Let's invite her again. Yay! Okay, she should be coming in a second.
Hi there.
There she is.
Hi, how are
there.
you?
I'm doing wonderful,
iPad.
Dr. Downie.
I knocked my
So
iPad
I just shared with the audience just who I am, but I haven't shared who you are just yet, but I'm sure a great majority of them already know who you are. So we've got a very interesting topic to share with you this evening. So in honor of Rosacea Awareness Month, we're going to turn our attention to this persistent redness and flushing condition that bothers 16 million Americans. But would you be surprised to know 10% of folks of ethnic skin are also bothered by this pesky redness and flushing condition? So we're going to discuss myths, signs, treatment protocols, and all of that fun stuff that Dr. Downie, Jeanine Downie, is going to lead us into. But before we do that, let me read you all the citations of this wonderful doctor. She is what I consider to be derm royalty. Yes, you heard me right. So I'm going to read all these fantastic things that she does. Not only does she have extensive training and experience in all aspects of dermatology, cosmetic dermatology, laser, and dermatologic surgery, she's also, okay, I'm getting ready to read all this stuff. She's also, I already said she's board certified. You always want to make sure that your dermatologist is board certified. She is medical director for Image Dermatology, and that's located in Montclair, New Jersey. 20 plus years of private practice experience. She's also, I know this number isn't right, but I'm going to read it anyway because she'll correct me. 86 published scientific papers, probably more like almost 100 now.
So it's like 90, somewhere between 92 and 95.
Okay, which is a lot. So a lot. She's been voted for 17 consecutive years as New York City Metropolitan's top doctor. She's board certified in the state of New Jersey, and in the state of New York, and in California. That's a lot of sitting down.
So I'm board certified across the country, and I'm licensed in those 3 states.
Yes. That's a lot of sitting down and taking exams, Doc. Wouldn't you say?
Too much.
Too much, right?
Yeah, too much.
And more than that, she is an expert as it relates to skin of color and dermatology. She is one of
and I have rosacea.
I did not know that. That was a surprise. I did not know that.
That's why I wanted to do this. And I think it's more like 20 to 40 million Americans, because I think it's an undercount, that have rosacea. So I don't think it's just 16. I think that number's old. I think it's 20 to 40. And I definitely think it's like 25 or 33. Probably a third are African Americans or Latino Americans that also have rosacea. So I think those numbers are respectful undercounts.
Yeah,
just from what I see in my private practice.
And you would know because you see so many
That's so much
patients on
good.
a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that is commonly, this condition is commonly misdiagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
It's widely misunderstood. So this evening we're going to really dive in deep on this topic, and you're going to share a lot of your experience and protocols so that you can help others that are challenged, much like yourself with rosacea, and then your colleagues that are professionals in the field of medicine as it relates to skin. You're able to provide some protocols by which they can follow in order to meet the challenge of this condition. So
Right.
thank you so much, Dr. Downie, for being with us again this evening. I love doing these events with you. As I said at the top of the call, you are derm royalty. So what everyone is getting tonight is going to be some really good things that they can take back into their private practices, or those that suffer from rosacea will have some tips by which they can learn more about how to tackle this condition. So tell us, what is rosacea?
Okay, so rosacea is red skin. You can see it on the face, you can see it on the neck, you can see it on the chest. It's typically from sun damage, family history, stress, hormonal fluctuations, aging, those type of things. You see it more in Caucasians, but you see it in Caucasians, Asians, Latinos, African Americans, and Indigenous Americans. You see it in everybody. You see it in both sexes. And the bottom line is it's one of those conditions that's sometimes hard to hide. Like when my rosacea is flaring, it's flaring. Maybe I didn't sleep enough. Maybe I, have my period. Maybe I didn't exercise enough to suppress it. And if you exercise, by the way, because exercise can cause your red face to get redder, I always tell everybody, make sure you have some water with you and make sure you're drinking the water as you go along, because on top of our carotid arteries is something called baroreceptors, and those can cool down your face with rapidity. And the exercise itself is great because it helps to decrease your stress level, which is one of the main ways I keep my rosacea under control besides sunscreen, because I exercise 7 days a week. So I over exercise. But getting back to rosacea. So here's how you determine if you have it. Go look in the mirror, look hard at yourself, and kind of press. Does it get red? And then does it get to be your normal skin color again? Well, then you probably have a couple of broken blood vessels. You probably have some rosacea. Sorry about that. So, because a lot of my patients are like, how do I know? I didn't know I had this. They come in for one thing and I tell them they have something else. New Jersey, sadly, is the tanning bed capital of the country. So we burn ourselves here. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. One of my patients admitted to me last week she was getting a base tan to go away. And I was like, there's no such thing. And she was like a very light-skinned, like Cuban, Caucasian blend of a beautiful individual. And she was burned. And I was like, really? You're going to get a burn before you go away and get another burn? So I told her, I said, I've got, Botox, I've got fillers, I can anti-age your face later, but you could get a skin cancer. She's like, don't say that. My grandmother had them. I'm like, okay, if they run in your family, you're more likely to get skin cancer. And in that visit, I also told that beautiful woman that she has rosacea, which she sort of knew. So rosacea is broken blood vessels. You see them a lot around right here, you see them here, on the nose, on the cheeks, on the chin. And my patients are usually upset because they want to know, well, I didn't know, I thought you had to have acne with it. So there is acne rosacea.
And I was going to
cystic acne
what
rosacea.
are the different types of rosacea?
Okay. So there's regular rosacea, which is just kind of like flat and no pimples, no pustules, no papules, no cysts, and that's called rosacea. And then there is acne rosacea, which is papules and pustules. And then there's cystic acne rosacea, which is when you get these big cysts all over your face with the redness. And all of them are very annoying. They can be devastating. And I tell my patients, we have things to control this. We have things to help you. There is no need to be devastated about this. With your skin's condition in the present time, I always tell everybody we are where we are, and now we're going to try to move forward together. And education is the key to helping people understand more about their skin, so they can look healthier, look happier, and look more in tuned. And a lot of women in particular, they flush, They get that redness in their
Yes.
neck
Yes.
and their chest and their face. And it's right before that presentation. It's right before that speech. It's right before they're on television. It's right before they're accepting that award. And they're mortified. And one of my patients said, I don't want to have to wear a lacy top up to here and look like somebody from The Handmaid's Tale, because every time I flush and blush here. I wouldn't recommend you look like somebody from The Handmaid's Tale anyway, for a number of reasons. But anyway, so because she said she flushes and blushes so much, she feels like it's a tell. And she works in finance. She has like the ultimate degrees from the ultimate schools, and yet she flushes and blushes. So with her, my main thing was she's got to decrease her stress level. She's got to sleep more. She's got to improve her diet, because she has a lot of inflammation in your diet. If you have more inflammation in your diet, that is soy, that is corn, that is nuts, especially peanuts.
Is it dairy?
Dairy can flare some people sometimes, for sure.
Okay.
A lot of my patients, I don't drink alcohol at all. My freshman year roommate was a stone cold alcoholic, so that was it for me. But if you drink, that's a long story. That's for another day. But if you drink alcohol, that can make you flare. Me, I like spicy foods. So you should see me when I'm eating spicy foods. And my background is Jamaican on my dad's side and Guyanese on my mother's side. Both of them are from Harlem, but my dad's confused. He thinks Jamaica and Harlem are next door, but they're not. So he's from Harlem, but his people are from Jamaica, and I love my spicy food. And then when I eat spicy food, my face gets really, really red, and it can make my head sweat, which I love. If a food makes my head sweat, then I'm impressed.
You're too much.
Because I like that. So it does flare my rosacea temporarily, and then I go ahead and I drink ice water and I put more sunblock on and I behave myself. So that was a long way of saying what rosacea is and the types of rosacea. I know I have a limited amount of time, so let you get back to your questions. Let me behave.
No.
Behave
You
myself.
always give us good stuff when we come together. So there's this long-standing myth, right? That rosacea, people of color don't suffer from rosacea. It is a condition that's primarily Caucasian skin, Celtic skin that suffers from rosacea. Why is this not true? And where does all this come from that, you know?
Just like a lot of my patients will come in and they'll say to me, they're looking at me, an African-American doctor, and say, well, I don't need sunblock, I'm black. And I'm like, thank you, I am too. And yes, anybody that has skin needs needs sunblock, or they can get skin cancer. So I tell them it's a racist construct for them to walk in the door and tell me they don't need sunscreen. And I'm like, oh, snap. Somebody from Derma Beauty just put some jalapenos on. I just had some jalapenos at lunch. So anyway, so I tell them they have to wear sunblock every single day, an SPF of 30 or more, rain or shine, January through December, regardless of their ethnicity, and they need to reapply it. And that is every single day. So that sun and decreasing your alcohol and decreasing your, hi, Kathy, one of my friends from Hawaii just joined.
Kathy, she must like you.
Yeah, she lives in Oklahoma, but I know her from Hawaii, and that's my buddy.
Okay.
So hi, Kathy. Kisses to your whole family. You still have to send me your questions. So what I tell everybody is the more stress they're under and the more they don't do anything about it, the redder their face is going to get and the faster their face is going to get red. So that is everybody. That is white, black, Latino, Asian, and indigenous people that this can happen to. So it is, you see rosacea show up more in very white skinned individuals, but you can see it in everybody, and it can look different. And so therefore it's poorly diagnosed in darker skin types sometimes, but that doesn't mean that darker skin types don't have it. And so that's really important.
That is a perfect segue into the next question. How does rosacea appear in skin of color? And at what point does someone say, you know what, I need to go see a derm about this?
Right. Okay. So a lot of people don't know at first that, you know, they're just putting a thicker and thicker and thicker coat of makeup on. And then they're like, oh my God, what's happening with my face? They take their makeup off at night. They're stressed. They could be using improper products. They could be picking. I tell everybody not to pick at all. So that's really important.
Yeah.
But it shows up as a darker red, sometimes in skin of color. It shows up as maroon in skin of color. It can show up as a little violety in skin of color. It can show up blush-like the color of your glasses, Wendy. It can show up a light purple, a deep purple. It doesn't have to show up like a red at all. So a lot of my patients will come in and they'll complain about stinging and burning with a multitude of different products. So one of my West African patients I'm referring to right now, and I looked through what she was using, and she was using a lot of toner, a lot of salicylic acid based products, and a lot of products with like a ton of ingredients that had a lot of preservatives. So I switched her over. She can use glycolic acid. We can do the VI peels on her. Those are helping her, her rosacea significantly. But her main thing was she needed to start exercising and get off of some of the cheaper products that she was on.
Wait a minute. Time out.
Yes,
Did you just say, I know that we're going off script. I just heard VI peel and you're using VI peel for this condition. That makes no sense to most people. That makes absolutely no sense.
It improves the texture of your skin, the tone of your skin tone, rosacea's tone. It improves acne for people that have acne rosacea or cystic acne rosacea, and it improves fine lines. So I totally use the VI peel to treat my rosacea patients, and it does help them. And my patients, I have them hold the fan, they put it on, their face gets maybe a little bit more red, maybe not even red at all. Salicylic acid, by the way, Katie Bell, can be okay for rosacea for some people, but not for other people. But this person's skin was really dried out, so we had to start from scratch. So I hope I answered that question. Getting back to Wendy, what you were saying, but VI peels can absolutely be used to treat rosacea. So I use the VI. So here's what I do. I make them exercise. I make them stop stressing so much. I make them get off of peanuts, in particular soy, corn, some of the inflammatory foods, okay? Then I'll have them do the VI peel one time and alternate that with, I have a laser in my practice called the XLV. And the XLV laser can target broken blood vessels on the face. We use that with a cooling gel. It's good for all skin types, from the darkest of dark to the lightest of light, and everybody in between. Rachel is saying that the VI peel has helped her. And
nice, Rachel.
Somebody else was saying it's amazing for inflammation. Yes, it is amazing for inflammation, the VI peel. But absolutely, I use it in combination with laser. So it's laser peel, laser peel, laser peel. Now, for people that have really, really, really bad rosacea, one of my good friends, Dr. Erin Gilbert, I think it was her that patented where you do micro Botox, you know, in the cheeks along here in little blebs, and that can suppress the rosacea for 3 or 4 months. And that's with the VI peels and with the laser, because
wait a minute. Once again, VI peel and toxin, is that like tox booster a little bit?
Well,
but you're using it for therapeutic reasons?
What you're doing is you're putting little blebs in the skin. You know how when you were a little kid and you used to get that TB test right under the surface of your skin? We're putting blebs of Botox in your skin in like a little checkerboard to decrease wherever you're the most red. Yes, including on your nose. And this is an off-label use for Botox, and it really can help significantly. And it's obviously not cheap, because you're talking toxin, then you're talking laser, and then you're talking the XLV, which another doctor, oh, hi Yolanda, how are you, is saying she loves for her rosacea patients. And somebody else is agreeing that Botox microinfusion works wonders for her patients with rosacea. And like I said, again, people need to plan on what they want to do to treat their rosacea. You can't hyper dilute it for the Botox. Yes, you can't do everything at once, but you should do something immediately. Because what happens with rosacea, like any other skin condition, if you let it sit there, it's going to get worse. Then it's going to get worse. Then it's going to get worse. And then you're going to see that old friend of yours. It's not really a friend. And your face is going to look like a tomato. And you're going to say, damn, I wish I'd done something about this earlier so I don't look like this right now, type of thing. So I tell everybody, you know, that when you let things sit there, they only get worse.
Okay, I have a question.
Unless it's compounded interest with money, and then that's a different story.
Now, let's say you are a Fitzpatrick 5 or 6. Darker skin types. Do you see rosacea in dark complected ethnic skin?
Yes, 100%.
Really?
Yeah, all the time. In my practice, all the time. I see more Caucasian patients in my practice because of where I am in Montclair, New Jersey. I'm about 12 miles from the city, but I see everybody in my practice. And so I see darker complected patients like that West African patient I was telling you about with rosacea all day long. Absolutely.
And so how do you diagnose it in those patients with darker skin? So I know you mentioned earlier that you can press the nose and see if it, you know.
See if it blanches.
Yep. So if you're darker complected, what does that look like for you?
Like I said, it can look not red. It can look reddish, it can look purplish, it can look like a violet color, it can look like a blush color. But a lot of the patients that come in will complain that they have tingling, and will complain that they have irritation, and will complain that they can put their makeup on all over the face, but when they put it in this part of their cheek, it stings and it burns. And why are they stinging and burning? So they come in with signs and symptoms of rosacea and very little visual rosacea, that type of thing. So you also have to listen to what it is that they're saying. And a lot of patients that have rosacea will think they're allergic to, you know, one of their makeup ingredients, that type of thing. So that's another kind of telltale.
Yeah. I didn't even think about.
And then there's
that
a dermatoscope.
trigger.
There's a dermatoscope that we use. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have it with me. I would have to run and go get it. So what the dermatoscope is it's a super intense magnifier that we use for dermatoscopy, which, you know, we can look at different moles and see if they're benign or malignant or something like that. But when we put the dermoscope on the face, we can see about the broken blood vessels. So even in a dark skinned person, it's not a problem to figure out whether or not they have rosacea with the dermatoscope, which myself and my somebody's saying that they love Roxanne. Thank you. We love Roxanne also. That's one of my medical assistants. She'll come out the room and tell me, oh, that person has rosacea, Dr. Downie. They don't know they have it yet. You go tell them. I'm only an MA. So she's been working with me since 2004, so she knows better.
So getting to what you just said, how do we know when it's misclassified or missed or misdiagnosed? Like, well,
a lot of
people normally saying it is when they're not dermatologists. How do they,
Right. A lot of my patients will come in for a second opinion, or they'll come in for a third opinion, and they'll say, my face is stinging and burning. I have underlying eczema, and they can have underlying eczema. And they can have underlying psoriasis, and they can have underlying seb derm. That doesn't mean they don't also have underlying rosacea. So a lot of them are diagnosed with one thing, but not with all things yet. And so they come in for a second opinion. We look at them under the dermatoscope. We look at them naked eye. We talk to them about what's flaring them. A lot of my patients will say, anytime I have pasta, well, pasta is a hot, steamy food. So hot foods, hot weather, cold weather, coffee, it's really caffeine. Like I said before, spicy foods, especially red wine, you know, that's a bother for a lot of people that have rosacea. All of those things can flare it. And then, like I said, it's exercise, it's sleeping, it's modulating your hormones, decreasing inflammation from your diet, the laser, the VI peel, the micro Botox. Those are some of the main go-tos that we do in terms of treating rosacea.
Just because you said VI peel again, which peel do you typically like to use for rosacea prone skin?
I like the VI peel Precision Plus. I think somebody asked it before.
Really? The Precision Plus for rosacea? How so?
Because my patients like it, it works well, it's consistent, and it delivers results. And so that makes me really happy. Somebody's asking what they can take for their hormones. The first thing you should do for your hormones is exercise and sleep right. The second thing you should do after you exercise and sleep right for a month is go get your hormonal levels drawn and see if they're normal or abnormal. And that person that said something in here about using their fingers to pick their hair bumps, if you're anywhere near me, could you please come see me? Because we have to redirect you. But please don't pick. Even if you're far away, please don't pick. Like a nightmare. You're going to get an infection. Come on.
No, it's funny. It's funny that you said that you would
use. It depends on who you go to. VI peels are $450, $550, $650. It depends on who you go to. And I do them. Oh, hi, Miss Sanders. How are you? I go to them at least once every 4 to 6 weeks. I do them on myself. It depends. I'm overdue for one. So I should do one. I think I have something big this Thursday. So
and the VI peel with Precision Plus that's designed to go after discoloration, sun damage, photo damage, and the like. I always hear providers say, "Oh, I only use the VI Original for my rosacea patients." How are you putting that myth to bed?
Think about it. Rosacea and hyperpigmentation are on a continuum. So a lot of my patients that have rosacea also have melasma. I have rosacea and I have melasma and I have underlying eczema.
Mm.
And I have underlying acne. So one of the reasons I went into dermatology is because I had so many different dermatologic conditions. I was like, this is just ridiculous. And my mother is a physician. She's a pediatrician, and she still practices part-time, and children live what they learn and they learn what they live. So my grandpa was a dentist back in the roaring days of Harlem. Mom is a God rest his soul. Mom is a pediatrician. She's 87, still practices part-time, which I think is ridiculous. I'm like, come on, Mom. And then there's me. And so when I was little, I was good in science, I was good in math, and I was good with people. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to figure out how to clear up my skin, because I had really sensationally bad acne. Like, stop you in the street,
No, you
ask
didn't.
you what's wrong with your skin type acne. And so I named my practice Image Dermatology because I wanted to help people with their self-image. And by the way, I would love all of the people on this IG Live to follow me on @Jeanine Downie. Please, 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 because I need more followers. Shameless plug. You can start with the original, is one of the estheticians is asking, and then go to the Precision Plus later. So I would start with the original first in terms of that question.
So what does tell us what that protocol looks like with VIPO. Tell us what that protocol looks like and treating rosacea with laser. Like you said, you use the XL.
So I use the
what does that
XLV,
protocol really look like?
I use the XLV laser. So I'll do the XLV laser, and then 4 weeks later, I'll do a peel. And I kind of totter back and forth, like on a month-to-month basis. I have them on, like Skin Medica, the Total Defense and Repair Sunblock, you guys know, is one of my favorites. I'll put them on the Color Science, the powder puff in the middle of the day. I love the VI peel, the 50 that comes in the package of the sunblock for my patients to carry around, to put that on in the middle of the day. I'm like, don't let me catch you not reapplying the sunscreen. If we're really going to commit to this, we're going to commit to this. Yes, the peel is still effective if you have skin that keloids. I have people take pictures of themselves before they get started. And I take pictures of them, which I keep obviously medically safely in the office for them, so we can look at the progression. And if there's different stuff going on, like if somebody is right before a presentation and they want to show me their neck, they're taking a picture of their neck. So I can really like go over their neck better with the laser next time, go over their neck better with the peel the next time. There are some people that I'll actually, if they have acne scarring and cystic acne rosacea, I will do the intracell, which is radio frequency microneedling. But, you know, with radio frequency microneedling, the microneedling can make the rosacea worse before it gets better. But that still is yet another treatment.
Let me ask you this, because someone asked about keloids and you were speaking about the VI peel. Do you treat over keloids with VI peel?
Yeah.
You do?
So I have a lot of my patients that will come in to see me that have keloids on the lower part of their jaw from picking at hair bumps,
Sure.
Which I just told that person not to in the thing before, or picking at pimples. And so what they'll do is they'll pick, and we actually put the laser everywhere on their face, because I'm trying to decrease it, and then I'll put a peel over that. So we'll actually do one, and it depends on what they want to spend, what they want to do, what their goals are, and how fast we have to have them attain their goals. So for people like that, maybe I'm lasering down here, maybe I'm lasering all over their face, but the same XLV laser that I use on a lower level for keloid, on a higher level, I'll use that for telangiectasia. So they'll have telangiectasias here, I'm doing a higher level. They have a keloid here, I'm doing a lower level. And then I might, depending on what their goal is, put on a VI peel right after. The peels that I use, I was saying before, the Precision Plus. I can use the regular ones as well. I like the Precision Plus a lot. And I like the PI peels, the VI peels with boosters also. You can do microneedling, but I do not recommend it strongly for rosacea. You can do it, but I don't recommend it, because I'm doing the microneedling to help with the acne scarring I was saying before. My practice is located in Montclair, New Jersey at 51 Park Street. My practice name is Image Dermatology. I am not crazy about some of the microneedling serums, so I typically do not microneedle with a serum. I have actually microneedled before and then put the VI peel on top of it. And I don't like LED.
Tell us why, because that's a huge thing right now. LED
well, okay,
light.
So I shouldn't say that. Some LED just burns some of my patients. Marmer Medical has a new LED system for home use that I really like a lot. And full disclosure, Ellen Marmer is one of my besties, but it's Marmer Medical, and that can really help with rosacea, that one. So that's
Yeah.
one that I do like. But in general, some of these LED systems that docs use in the office, not my favorite. I don't have them. I don't use them. So I don't want to blast a negative system. I just want to tell you guys, I use the Cutera XLV to treat my telangiectasias in the lightest of light to the darkest of dark. And that's what I feel comfortable with.
It's always real talk with you, always.
Mm-hmm.
And so as we wrap this up, and then we'll answer some more questions as they come in, I'm a really huge fan when someone says, your skin is so great, what are you doing? One of the foundations to my skin is just really aggressive sun protection. And because a lot of my great friends are dermatologists, I learned very early on the two-finger rule with sun protection. Can you explain that? Because everyone seems to think just a small squirt into the hands and then applying is more than enough. Can you tell me why they need to identify and understand the two-finger rule?
Okay, so I don't particularly do the two-finger rule. I do like, you need to put it in a shot glass. Like I want your skin drowned with it. So I have people put like basically what almost looks like a shot glass, then they warm it up in their hands to break apart the whitish molecules, and then they put it all over their face. And my daughter and my husband always comment that I look like I have war paint on, and then I rub all of that in. And so for this IG Live, and I typically don't ever wear foundation, but I don't have any foundation or powder on today. I just have concealer under my eyes and a little bit of lip stuff on because I'm not, and eyeliner because I'm not trying to scare you guys. But even though I have melasma and rosacea, I just want people to know.
Someone just said reapply until you die.
Yeah, reapply until you die. That's exactly right. And so I'm rubbing and putting that all over, and then I'm putting this on later. And I literally want my patients to reapply a minimum of 3 times a day. But if you're sitting in front of the computer at night, then I want people to even reapply it while they're sitting in front of the computer, because we react to indoor lighting and outdoor lighting. The blue light from the phone, the computer, the Apple Watch, the iPad, and all of that can make anyone's rosacea, again, Black, white, Latino, indigenous, Asian, make anybody's face get worse. Yes, TNS ceramide treatment creams can help some. And retinoids, it depends on the retinoid available. Some retinoids can be helpful. Isden has one called Melatonic's that's very helpful. VI Beauty has one that's very helpful, that's not too irritating. And then there are other retinoids, like some of the prescription ones, that really can potentially make it worse. So maybe you wouldn't do that. A good sunscreen for skin of color. I really like the Total Defense and Repair or the Essential Defense, and put it all over the cream. And then in the middle of the day, reapplying over makeup would be Color Science, which I'm challenging them to expand their powder puff options to even darker shades. When Rihanna came out with the Fenty line, what sold out first was those darker shades. So we need representation of all shades.
It sure did. Someone says here, do you need to prep Black clients before VI peel?
No, prep them like as in tell them, you know, how much they're going to peel, not prep them as in they need to come back for the second time. A lot of my patients come in, they've waited 2 to 3 months to see me. They're anxious to get started with the peel process. They know from either my social media or my website that that is the most popular peel here in my practice. And so we just get started with that right away, as long as they know that they're going to peel in a couple of days. So that's the prep. Do you have the time to peel right now?
Right. And if they're on
retinol prep, no, I don't need to retinol prep them first. They're still going to have a good result.
Okay. Yeah. And if they're on a retinoid, how soon do they discontinue before they come into the office to be seen to get their VIP?
I mean, I like them to discontinue at least 4 to 5 days before. That's not always the reality, though. So, I'll double clean. Fit 6. They're saying how any tips on how to get Fitzpatrick 6, which is the darkest skin type, to peel more. I will actually double clean with acetone and make sure I get all acetone off. And prepping Asian skin, I prep with acetone. Like, it's all skin types that I prep with acetone.
Fantastic.
You can add, somebody from Skin Spa said you can add retinol 0.1 to the end of the eye peel to make them peel more. You can.
Fantastic. So, Doc, it is always an absolute pleasure to be with you. Such a treat. And we get so many emails, so many DMs, so many text messages, and just how much folks are able to learn when you come on and do an IG Live with us. We certainly appreciate you being a part of the Brown Skin Agenda. and
Thank
all
you.
the wonderful things you provide all of us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I just need to tell everybody, I have rosacea also. People are so upset when they have rosacea. There is a skin connection. Sometimes there can be a gut connection. There's definitely a stress connection. So come in and talk to either myself or a board certified dermatologist, but I don't want people feeling hopeless about that. I don't want them feeling angry. Like I like to say, we are where we are with your skin. So one of my favorite things to say is don't look backwards. You're not going that way.
That's right. Forward, as Beyonce would say.
Forward.
Forward.
Onward and forward.
Well, thank you so much. We love you so much, and thank you for all that you do for everybody.
At Jeanine Downie. Please follow me on my IG at Jeanine Downie.
Yes.
Thank you, Benji. Thank you, Marva.
Yes, and also follow at The Brown Skin Agenda. Don't forget the article in front of Brown Skin, The Brown Skin Agenda. Follow us to stay current and up to date on all things skin of color. And we so appreciate everyone joining us this evening. And thank you so much, Dr. Downie.
Thank you. Have a great night. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.